Hello everyone. So for this video discussion, we'll be dealing with the different cropping systems in agriculture. So before we dive deeper to our discussion, let us first unlock some difficulties by defining the terminologies that we'll be dealing with as we go on with our discussion. Okay, so definition of terms. The first term that we must know is the term system. So system is a set of components that are interrelated and that interact among themselves. So yung naka-red ang kulay, those are the keywords or key terms. Okay, the next term that we must know is the term cropping system. So cropping system is a set of crop systems that make up the cropping activities of a farm system. Cropping system also comprises all components required for the production of a particular crop and the interrelationships between them and the environment. It is also the combination of crops in time and space. So we have here three definitions of cropping systems. Una dyan, yung first, bago yung semicolon, a set of crop systems. So sabing cropping system is a set. So it encompasses various crop systems. Then the second definition, sabi, cropping system comprises all components required for the production of a particular crop and the interrelationships between them and the environment. So, yung second definition ay same sa first definition pero may addendum. Dinagdag dito yung interrelationships between the systems and the environment. Then yung third definition, yun yung pinaka-basic na definition natin for cropping system. It is the combination of crops in time and space. Okay, so those are the terms that we must know before we proceed to our discussion. Okay, let's now proceed to the next part of our discussion. We have the different types of cropping patterns. Okay, so bullet cropping pattern is the yearly sequence and spatial arrangement of crops or of crops and fallows on a given area. So first type of cropping patterns is the monocropping. So monocropping, from the prefix mono means one. Therefore, in monocropping, only one crop is grown annually. So annually per cropping season or per year in the same parcel of land or piece of land, either perennial or annual crop monoculture. Kapag perennial, these are the plants that thrive or develop or grow more than one cropping cycle or more than one life cycle. So, belong dito yung ating mga fruit trees and mga fiber crops natin, gaya ng mga fruit trees, bananas, mga cacao, mga ano pa ba, mga mangga, and others. Then of course, we have the annual crop monoculture. Kapag annual, so they complete their life cycle in one season, one growing season, gaya ng mga rice, corn, and our vegetables are also considered as annuals. Okay, next type of cropping pattern, we have multiple cropping. So multiple cropping is the growing of more than one crop on the same land in 1 year or in one cropping season. So there are different types of multiple cropping. Una dyan si sequential cropping. May symbol siya na hyphen. So sequential cropping is denoted by a hyphen between two succeeding crops. So sabi, two or more crops in a sequence on the same field within 12 months, with the succeeding crop planted only after the preceding crop has been harvested. So take note of this statement. So yung second crop daw ay tinatanim lang after natin ma-harvest yung ating initial commodity or initial crop. So sequential cropping is also called as double cropping. Okay, then another type of multiple cropping, we have triple cropping. So kung yung sequential cropping ay dalawa, two crops, triple cropping, three nga, triple. So, three crops in sequence. Seedling or transplanting one after the harvest of the other. Then last type of multiple cropping, we have the ratoon cropping. Ratoon cropping is the development of a new crop without replanting from buds on the root system, stubble, or stems of the preceding crops. A harvest not necessarily for grains. Under certain conditions, sample ng ating ratoon crop ay pwede yung ating palay. So, kadalasan yung practice kapag ratoon cropping, in palay, hindi natin inaararo yung lupa after mag-harvest. Manual harvest hindi mechanized, hindi na rotor. Wherein yung mga lower portion ng rice ay nakatayo pa rin, then they are allowed to grow new shoots wherein new grains will also form. So that is ratoon cropping. Okay, so let's now proceed to another type of cropping patterns. We have intercropping. Intercropping naman ay plus. So intercropping is denoted by a plus sign between any two crops grown simultaneously. O take note simultaneously. So they are grown together at the same time on the same piece of land with or without row arrangement. Then we have here major intercropping systems. Una dyan si parallel cropping. So parallel cropping is the cultivation of crops that have different natural habitat and zero competition. So examples ng parallel cropping natin ay ang pag-intercrop ng mung bean and mais. So there's no competition between the mung bean and mais, especially kapag yung mung bean ay tinanim 30 to 35 days after sowing and dadagdagan ng mais 50 days after sowing. You gets? So parallel cropping, magkaiba sila ng natural habitat, then there's zero competition. Then another type of intercropping, we have companion cropping. So companion cropping is intercropping where the production of both intercrops is equal to that of its solid planning. Okay, so ibig sabihin nito na yung produce or yung maani mo from producing both crops or producing two crops is equal kapag nag-grow ka lang ng iisang crop. Okay, so example ng mga pwede sa companion cropping ay ang pagtatanim ng mustard or patatas or onion plus sugarcane. Okay, next type of cropping, intercropping, we have multi-story or multi-level. So it is the cultivation of two or more crops of different heights simultaneously on a certain piece of land in any certain period. So take note of the may fun color na red. Crops of different heights simultaneously. Simultaneously, so synchronized. Same time, they were planted at the same time. But they are of different heights. So examples ng plants that can be used in multi-level intercropping is sugarcane ren plus mustard plus onion or potato. So sa example natin, we have three plants. So sugarcane is matangkad na halaman. Then mustard is leafy, so mababa. Then onion or potato are root crops. So they have different heights, multi-level. Then lastly, we have the synergetic cropping. Synergetic cropping naman, the yields of both crops are higher than of their pure crop on a unit area basis. So kanina sa parallel sa companion cropping, equal yung produce. Dito naman sa synergetic cropping, higher yung naproproduce than that of the kapag iisa lang yung tinanim. So examples ng may synergy ay ang pagtatanim ng sugarcane plus potato. Okay. Then let's now proceed to the next type of cropping patterns. And we have here relay cropping. So relay cropping is denoted with a slash between crops. So it is the growing of two or more crops together, but seedling or transplanting the succeeding one after flowering and before the harvest of the former crop. Okay, sabi pa, if the planting of the second crop is done before the flowering stage of the first crop, the pattern is intercropping. So sabi kapag relay cropping, itatanim mo yung second crop after mag-flower nung first crop or before you harvest from the first crop. So that's relay cropping. Okay, so those are the most common types of cropping patterns. Let's now proceed to those that are less familiar types of cropping patterns. First, we have here strip cropping. So strip cropping, two or more crops simultaneously in separate plots arranged in strips that can be independently cultivated. So na-arrange sila in strips in columns Then, magkaiba sila ng cultivation practices or care and management practices. They are grown in different plots, separate plots, simultaneously. So, same silang tinanim, but in different plots. Okay, so that's strip cropping. Examples ng pwedeng i-strip crop ay ang pagtatanim ng corn and eggplant, or pwede rin ang corn and mung bean or munggo. Then, other type of cropping patterns, we have sorghum cultivation. Crop cultivation in parallel beds and sinks, wherein lowland crops are planted in the sinks and upland crops are grown in beds. So, parallel beds but of different heights. Yung isa mataas, then yung isa ay mababa or pwedeng submerged sa tubig. The next, we have alley cropping. Alternate succession of the strips or hedgerow cropping of perennial crops established along the contour of the slope, and an open space or alley is devoted to annual crops. So alley cropping is usually done or performed in slopey areas, kaya sa mga side ng bundok or burol. So that's alley cropping. Okay, so I have here some pictures lifted from the internet to show you some examples of the cropping patterns. We have here pictures showing sorghum cultivation. So in sorghum cultivation, we have there the sink. Okay, dito. Right picture. In the sink, in yung lower part, so tinamnan siya ng rice. Then, yung sa may taas, yung bed ay tinamnan ng mga annual crops. Okay, so then we have here pala sa left, yung sa sink, sa mababa, tinamnan ng rice. Then, sa tabi ng rice, meron siyang bed na pwedeng tamnan ng mga fruit vegetables. In the picture, nagtanim siya ng isang cucurbit. Okay, so next one, we have here pictures showing alley cropping. Okay, alley cropping, sabi natin kanina, alternate succession of the strips or hedgerow cropping of perennial crops established along the contour of the slope, and an open space or alleys devoted to annual crops. May perennial crops plus may annual crops. Okay, so saan dyan yung mga perennial crops natin? Yung cacao, perennial crops. Citrus, perennial crops. Then mga annual crops natin, we have the peanuts here, the upland rice, the beans, and the corn. Okay, so that's alley cropping. It's mostly done in slopey areas or hilly areas. Okay, so those are the different types of cropping patterns. So ngayon naman, let's proceed to the other types of cropping systems. Cropping systems, una dyan si salt cropping system. SALT is acronym for Sloping Agriculture Land Technology. So this is done in slopey areas to prevent soil erosion, to improve soil fertility and to provide a continuous income from diverse crops planted on a hilly land. So yung cropping natin kanina ay pwede natin i-consider under salt cropping system. Tama? Tama. Then other type of cropping system, we have agroforestry. Agroforestry is the integration of agricultural crops and or livestock in the growing of forest trees. So yun yung agroforestry. Agro plus forestry. Then we also have the LESA and HISA. Those are acronyms for low external input sustainable agriculture and high external input agriculture. Okay? So, kapag low external input, so minimize natin yung mga resources na galing sa labas ng ating farm. So, ang ginagawa natin ay ni-utilize natin to their full capacity lahat ng mga materials, lahat ng meron tayo sa loob ng farm. Then, kapag high external input agriculture naman, then we make use of a lot or mas intensive yung paggamit natin ng mga materials, ng mga equipments, ng mga gamot, ng mga fertilizers from outside of our farms. So it is a more intensive way of growing our commodities or producing our crops. Then lastly, we have IFS and IFFS. IFS stands for Integrated Farming Systems and IFFS stands for Integrated Food and Farming Systems. So itong mga to, they are included are the goals of finding and adapting integrated and resource-efficient crop and livestock systems that maintain productivity, that are profitable, and protect the environment. So that's the concept behind integrated farming systems and integrated food and farming systems. Okay, so that's the end of this discussion. So, nangyari, nag-unlock lang tayo ng difficulties since yung ginawa natin mostly ay nag-define ng mga terms, ng mga terminologies. Nilam natin yung kanilang definitions. So, for the upcoming videos, I'll be talking or discussing deeper or more specific yung mga different cropping patterns natin gaya ng monocropping, intercropping, multiple cropping, etc. Okay, so I hope you'll watch this video. Goodbye.